Hello, dear students. I am Sampada Sawant, Assistant Professor of Philosophy. In this video, we are going to cover Unit 1 Basic Logical Concepts of Paper Logic. The topic that we will cover in this this video is inductive and deductive arguments. We have studied so far that logic is nothing but deductive reasoning. We deduce something from something else. And what is it that we deduce? We deduce conclusions. Deduce is to derive, to naturally derive, to easily derive, okay, and consistently derive. So, deductive arguments are nothing but it is when the premises are true and the conclusion must be true. So, this is what we've been seeing so far. Every time the premises are true, the conclusion cannot be false. So when I say all men are mortal and Socrates is a man, so obviously Socrates is a mortal. If my premises are true, the conclusion will definitely be true. If one of the premises false, the conclusion will be false. The conclusion follows necessarily from the premises. Conclusion follows necessarily means compulsorily, mandatorily, at any cost, consistently, always. So the conclusion will always follow from the premises. It will always be deduced, it will always be derived from the premises. The premises provide conclusive evidence for the truth of the conclusion. So the premises, if we know so far that we have been studying, premises are the reasons, and these reasons are so strong in deductive arguments that conclusion will easily follow. That strong the premises are in deductive arguments, and logic is only about deductive arguments. It is about those arguments in which the premises are very strong to derive the conclusion. It is impossible for the premises to be true and the conclusion false, right? It is logically inconsistent to assert the premises and deny the conclusion. Means that if you accept the premises, if I accept the fact that all men are mortal and Socrates is a man, then I cannot deny the fact that even Socrates is a mortal. You cannot just say that, okay, I accept all men are mortal and that Socrates is a man, but I don't want to accept the fact that Socrates is mortal, that Socrates can die. I cannot say that. That is what deductive arguments are. Let's see the examples. If the Queen lives in Buckingham Palace, then she lives in London. The Queen does live in Buckingham Palace. So the Queen lives in London. Obviously, right? That is what I started by saying. That if I say she lives in Buckingham Palace, then she naturally lives in London. And then I'm also saying that she lives in Buckingham Palace. I am assertively saying, okay? If we know logic is about statements, statements are assertive, propositions. They're assertive, they're informative, they're factual. You can always say it's true or false. So when I ask you the queen does live in Buckingham Palace, you will say true, right? You cannot say false. We know the Queen of London lives in Buckingham Palace. So naturally, the Queen lives in London. That is called deductive arguments. It is so obvious, it is so natural that the conclusion will easily arrive. Let's see the second example. All humans are mortal. Socrates is human. Therefore, Socrates is mortal. It's a simple example we've been repeating over and over again. Now, what are inductive arguments? Inductive arguments claim that if the premises are true, the conclusion is probably true. We saw in deductive arguments that if the premises are true, the conclusion is necessarily true. And in inductive arguments, the conclusion is probably true. Probably means maybe. Let's see if the premises are true, the conclusion may be true. I'm not sure. I'm very uncertain. I cannot state for sure that it will be true. The conclusion follows probably from the premises. Maybe it follows from the premises. There's a 20-80 chance or 50-50 chance. I don't know. The premises provide good but not conclusive. If you see in the third point here, the premises provide conclusive evidence. Conclusive evidence is strong evidence. Whereas in inductive arguments, the premises are good. Okay, they're fine, like good. But they are not that strong to support the conclusion. Okay. The conclusion can be arguable, the conclusion can be debatable at any time. I can debate over the conclusion, whether it's true or false. It is unlikely for the premises to be true and the conclusion false. Okay? Although it is logically consistent to assert the premise and deny the conclusion is probably true if the premises are true. Okay, what it is trying to say here is I may accept the premises and deny the conclusion. Okay, this may be the case, but let's also accept that not always the conclusion will be true. Sometimes the conclusion may be false. So, like I said, it's a 50-50% chance that there will be a strong relation between premises and conclusion. Let's see the examples here. Election polls, okay? Polls show that 75% of Republicans favor a school prayer amendment. So they want a school prayer to happen in the schools. Okay, and 75% of Republicans support that. Joe is a Republican. Therefore, Joe probably favors a school prayer. Okay. Now, just because Joe is a Republican and 75% of Republicans favor a school prayer, it may be or may not be the case that Joe favors a school prayer. Joe may be someone who may be a Republican but does not believe in a school prayer. But I can also say that Joe is a Republican and he favors a school prayer. So, there's a 50-50% chance for the conclusion to be true. Let's see the another example. 90% of all teachers are funny. Karen is a teacher. Therefore, Karen is funny. Really, Karen may not be funny. And I'm already saying 90% of all teachers. So, Karen may be among those 10% who are not funny. But my conclusion says Karen is funny. I am stating the fact that Karen is funny. So, there's a 50-50% chance, or maybe 20-80% chance. Maybe she may be funny, she may not be funny. She may belong in the 90% category of teachers who are funny, or she may belong to the 10% category of teachers who are not funny. So I am not sure. My conclusion is not very certain. My conclusion is not very assertive. It's not very strong. Because my premises are not very strong. So, how will you understand which are deductive arguments and which are inductive arguments? So, there are certain indicators. Deductive indicators include certainly, definitely, absolutely, conclusively. It logically follows that, it is logical to conclude that, this logically implies that, this entails that. So, whenever you see the use of these words or these phrases before a sentence, you will know that it's a deductive argument. And inductive indicators include probably, likely, it is plausible to suppose that, it is reasonable to assume that, one would expect that, it is a good bet that, chances are that, odds are that. So, whenever you find the use of these words or phrases before a sentence, you will know that it's an inductive argument. Let's test your understanding now. Tell me, Alan is a father, therefore, Alan is a male. What kind of argument do you think this is? Is it a deductive argument? Does the conclusion, therefore, Alan is a male, follow necessarily from the premise Alan is a father? Or is it an inductive sentence, inductive statement, inductive argument? Maybe Alan is a male. Second, Jill is a 6-year-old girl. Therefore, Jill cannot run a mile on 1 minute flat. Is it true that all 6-year-olds cannot run a mile in 1 minute? So, if you have understood, you may have guessed it correctly that the first statement is a deductive argument. Alan is a father, therefore, obviously, we all know fathers are males. So, it is a deductive argument. And the next, Jill is a 6-year-old girl, therefore, Jill cannot run a mile on 1 minute flat. Not all 6-year-olds get tired so early. Some 6-year-olds are very energetic. So it may be or may not be that she cannot run a mile on 1 minute flat. So the second example is an example of inductive argument. Thank you.